RLCS season to prove his worth. I think no better place would it be, I think, to start that, I guess, redemption journey for him, Jam. Not to say that he's discredited himself in any way. I think he's still a super solid, great player with great experience. Captain K-Dot for a reason, right? But he needs to show that he is still able to hang with the new generation of player. And already, we can see Team Vitality coming out as they mean to show offensive chops, though able to clear the lines. And actually, it almost came to nothing as up goes the save from Alpha. Recycle to Though again, and there's K-Dot on hand to make another save. Back in again off the backboard, and this time it's Alpha once more. And it's peppering the net here from SUHHH, so eager to get that early lead.
Have they finally managed to find a clear? And of course, and who is at the end of that clear, or rather who facilitates that read? It's Radosin. So who do you think should we watch, Relic? Should we still put attention on Alpha 54 and K-Dop? Should we watch the Championship Sunday K-Dop? Or should we still put all of our eyes on Radosin? He has been looking tremendous throughout the previous series, and most importantly, his teammates have also stepped up. So who is going to be the difference maker? The talent that is just waltzing across his opposition in Radosin? Or do you think the old guard is going to be the real difference here in the finals?
Is a team game, Jam. All of them have to be important. As
yes.
Alpha in the back comes solely in the Fennec, and though able to put it back into the center. K-Dop with the clearance as Mike Boy up to the top of the box. He's got a lot of boost to utilize, gets the flip reset. Alpha tries to go underneath him. No luck on this one as Oli's going to try and drop it down. Double commit from the Vitality defense. The clear strong enough to clear the lines. The counter-attack, Radosin, Alpha crossing over. Mike Boy up, but not really out. That's going to be helped by Though, although picking it off there was K-Dop. Big reactions from Mike Boy. Straight into the center again. Another double commit, this time from the SUHHH defense. Really strong opening from both of these two teams, but still the scoreline remains goalless.
And the play is looking as if everyone's just taking a careful stroll across the pitch, exploratory shots here and there, but the moment one of these squads is seeing an opportunity, all of a sudden, all of the sleep is gone. No caution, all danger. And we've just seen what Team Vitality could pull off just on a dime. And previously we've seen SUHHH repeatedly peppering the net of Team Vitality with shots as well. It is a calm before the storm kind of playstyle. Don't be tricked by the fact that it might not be looking as fast. Oh, these teams can go fast when they need to.
Halftime comes and goes infield. K-Dop! Rocket from him! Lovely infield pass. Vitality breaks the deadlock.
What's this I'm hearing from a crowd? Can't stop K-Dop, especially when Alpha is setting it up with such a tasty pass. Finger licking good. And Team Vitality finds himself an opportunity worthy of the grand finals.
I love that my roommate actually had some Kentucky-based chicken product herself a little earlier today. And look who's popping off. It is K-Dop. Is there another to be had, though? I've said this throughout this entire tournament. Those 1-0 leads, not safe in the slightest, as much as I'm sure Vitality would be eager to lock this one down. The cleared line, Mike Boy out to the side. Lovely pass back to Mike Boy. Lovely interchange, but intercepted finally by K-Dop. Radosin gets a piece of this. Only looking for a sensational angle redirect. And Though a bit on his own here, actually does well to chip this up to the backboard through the corner. Maybe, maybe not. No one to receive on the far side. Oli finally arrives on the scene. That's back to the backboard again, where a player lay in wait. Though, again, they're just having these long shots, Jam, but not really finding much luck. I appreciate and I respect the need to try and break away the defense, but Vitality standing strong.
I cannot even give an inch. And I think they recognize that pretty well. What a change from Team Vitality. Yeah, of course, they've won all of their games so far today. But we've seen them in a much more precarious position. Again, another reminder, last meeting between these two teams have ended with SUHHH sweeping Team Vitality. That was day one. Day one by this point seems like a far cry. This was way back on Thursday. This Team Vitality is the one that came in to get trophies, get results, and it's very important for them to try and get that prize. A reminder for what these teams are playing for.
Oh, there you go.
1,000 euros, and Mike Boy does know what's on the line.
Also a 1-month test drive with the lovely Dacia Spring Electric, and Mike Boy going for a test drive right down the middle of the Vitality defense. It seems so simple a goal to score. after seemingly requiring big mechanics to get past defense. And I think Vitality's going to be a little upset that they've let that one go, and we recognize as well the steal that SUHHH has to be able to overturn these sorts of leads. Lovely infield pass again, Alpha destroying though, ensuring that the attack is one car light. Mike Boy has to give that up. Alpha, he's got his support of KDOP here, and well read by Tho, misreads the ball, but he's up now to pick it up at the halfway line. Tho doesn't really get the sort of control that he was looking for on that occasion. Oli, KDOP, you can see Alpha there waiting to pick it up, and they are able to get it to the backboard, but with no real direction, truth be told. Center circle suggests that we might be heading to an overtime. Big shot that rattles the crossbar. Oli trying to lock it down. No double tap for him. Back around comes Mike Boy. Keeps it off the ground. They want to finish this before they head to the legendary prolongation. It's our first game of the series. It's our first overtime of the series.
Well, of course, how else but with an overtime are we going to ring in the grand final series? And Team Vitality are not allowing SUHHH to create anything at the very end. Hell, they might even immediately create something on the other side of the field. But the Dutch defense stands strong. More attempts, KDOP and the rest of Team Vitality are being met by SUHHH in the middle of the field, and that's their strong suit, just trying to kill anything that their opposition is throwing at them. So that in the middle of the field, and you see Mike Boy, though, Oli just making short rotations, but these rotations are made for one purpose only, to stop Team Vitality from even thinking about a counter-attack.
Oli again heading to that backboard. And Alpha equal to it, though. Nice read, but no one to receive. Radosin, all three Vitality players just looking to recoup the boost right now. Radosin again, though. Bumped out the way, but gets his clearance. Nice redirect, and that's going to be a demo in the air, as that's almost a bump in net. Oli looking, seeking for Radosin, and though with the attempted pass back in field again denied by the newest roster addition. That's dangerous! And Alpha 54 brings his protractor out. The angles work for him, and Vitality take first blood.
Are these angles even legal? Who even goes for that kind of shot? Well, Alpha was just going for the challenge. I guess it's in his name. Usually it's 50-50s, Relic. He has 54, so he has 4% more chance of getting something like this going on target. Team Vitality get there first. And a reminder, since they're coming from the lower bracket, to win the whole tournament, they need to win 2 best-of-7s in a row. Easier said than done? Well, on one hand, they're Team Vitality. And we know exactly what Team Vitality means. Those of you who have followed this team forever. Even with Fairy Peak on the sub-bench, I'm pretty sure he's right there just waving a flag and like a big foam finger that goes number one. Fairy Peak knows how strong his team and his teammates are.
Don't get me wrong here, folks. I see you out there in chat. No doubt there was a slice of fortune here. All Alpha 54 was doing was challenging the ball, but he also knows that if he challenges from that perspective, it might go on target. And I think that with that in mind, it was better to just go for it rather than leave it. And I like that proactivity from Vitality. I think it's a lot of... It's actually... What they're doing is what I feel Calming Core should have been doing. And it's working better for Vitality. Similarly, I thought that Semper was going to step up today. They've been slowly but surely working better on their new style of play with Exotic in the team. And I thought today was the day where it was going to completely, show off to its finest degrees just how good a move this might become. It's Vitality that has surprised us all, really, after looking out of sorts. For the group stage, for the first stage of playoff, really, it's lovely. And that's a big rotational break here. It's not going to be punished, as the Dutch folks are starting to struggle here. A far post shot from Radosin whistles wide. And Mike Boy closes down KDOP, but here's KDOP again, backboard hit. Backboard very popular with both of these teams today, and no shot follow-up here. Oli blocks this one. KDOP, get the flip reset. No, it falls away from him.
That was Radosin also wreaking havoc in front of the net, trying to bump out any of the soft players that he can find. And Radosin will go with that again. Oh no, he stops the shot that was destined for the net from KDOP. Great idea, but backfires on Team Vitality immediately. I'm gonna have to try again. These bumps are proving to be efficient. Radosin just needs to duck out of the way.
It might be a specific prize there of Verita Skiller, but it is a correct prize. Again, a month's test drive of the Dacia Spring Electric. A very nice car it is. as well. Understandable then why there is an 18+ requirement for this tournament. Perhaps why we don't see a particular cheese-based organization. Nothing cheesy about that shot. It rattles the crossbar again as Team Vitality threaten to go ahead and really start to put the pressure on SUHHH, who haven't really been in this scenario often, have they? In fact, the one scenario that we did find them in was when they were 2-0 down to Team Singularity right back at the beginning of Group A, of which, of course, they were able to reverse sweep them, and Team Singularity didn't win a game after. Though in field finds Mike Boy, shot on target, denied by Alpha, picks up the 100 boost. Oli forced back, not got much boost himself until now. Ricochet away to Mike Boy. He's not going to pick up that 100 Oli. Mike Boy to get it now, but they've given up possession as well. Radosin, it falls its way to Alpha. And Radosin looking for bumps, nothing really to find, and once again the SUHHH defense holds.
How about Team Vitality's defense? That's a miss from K-Dot, but Radosin has his back. Is the angle right? Oh! K-Dot would like to take some risks right now. I'm not sure if he wants to also drink some brisk, but he is definitely feeling like he needs to go for something crazy and wild. And I hope Team Vitality's fans' hearts are feeling okay after that one. Oli was just hoping that he would be a little bit more aware of what's about to happen. Vitality still doesn't let anything in. More shots coming in. Can Oli actually find a reset? He can only find Tho coming in back.
Nerves of steel from Alpha 54, staring down a very, very mechanically gifted player. Alpha trying his own mechanics off the backboard, nothing there. Radosin sweeps around. Got some boost to use as well, bumped out the way by Mike Boy. Tho steps in. Alpha again looking to reset this attack. I think he's got the flip reset. It doesn't matter. Mike Boy with the save. Across the net. Bit too heavy, bit too much mustard there from K-Dot. Radosin, we've seen him be a little bit tricksy in front of net as well as Alpha goes sideways, picks up the 100 boost. Demo from K-Dot on Oli. Power play here potentially, but again, nothing doing. Radosin taking out Mike Boy, locking them into their own half, but the ball's on the other side of the pitch.
We'll have to try again. This also kills any potential boost that might have had on them, and also resets their rotation. If the luck of a draw is against SUHHH, the player might respawn somewhere way far away. Double commit, and lack of boost might be hurting SUHHH right now. It's not like Team Vitality have that much more, but Radosin goes for yet another bump. You could see off the side of the camera. He rotates straight through the middle of the net of SUHHH, and he always tries to just get one of the players going. And by this point, they're gotten smarter about it, but it's still never nice to be playing with the thought that, yep, there's that train coming in again. It's going to demo us.
Nervy, tense, tetchy. That is basically your 3-word roundup of game number 2 here. SUHHH not wanting to give Vitality another bite of success. Mike Boy uses that double jump, and again, nothing really coming of it as Tho's going to put that to the backboard, doesn't even reach its destination. 30 seconds left, it's on your screens, folks. As Oli gets a double touch, picks up the far 100. In field, no one to strike. Staying very conservative are the Dutch trio, as Tho does his defensive duties off the top of the box. In comes K-Dot. Nice ground hit, but again, it doesn't have the directional power needed to slice in under the crossbar. Oli, lovely read off the backboard. That looked like a real unsalvageable situation. Did so well just to do enough to put it off his own backboard. The second consecutive overtime in a row. This time, SUHHH want to take the spoils.
This close series is deserving of these overtimes. Team Vitality have won the previous one, and though you could see, skipping ahead of the ball, he wanted to find himself a bump. Now Mike Boy rotating through a net as he was taking on the shot, looking for Team Vitality defenders himself. But this now goes the other way. Thankfully for Oli, he gathers the boost, and everyone on the field right now is well equipped to deal with defense, attack, maybe a little bit of start from their own side. Radosin has 1 to beat. 2 to beat. Does he have a teammate in support? Of course he does. Now, does Alpha have K-Dot on top of him? Does as well, but every single step of the way, SUHHH are keeping up with Vitality.
This is loose. Double demo on both sides. Oli and K-Dot taking out the play briefly 2v2. The Oli combo prevailing on defense, as Tho's going to win that challenge as well over K-Dot. Back to Alpha 54. Just got to hit it before the on-rushing Tho was in the way. Here is Tho again, back at base, Radosin, lovely infield pass. K-Dot not feeling confident enough to push up really, and I don't blame him either. real nip and tuck game where the tactical prowess of both sides really coming out in force. Oli around the corner, though to read, and though to pinch away, but Radosin wins the challenge. In comes K-Dop, that's off the backboard. Every shot with a car seemingly in the way, nothing clean as of yet. Off the top of the box, falls nicely onto K-Dop, good first touch. Locked thanks to Mike Boy. Alpha picks up the pieces, Radosin infield pass, and another big save from Though, the Savior medal his.
Had some great ideas, Team Vitality.
Uh-oh!
This is one of the worst ones, I suppose, but K-Dop still has his longtime teammate to save his bacon. Nearing 2 minutes, and the defense holds strong for both of the sides. There's rarely a counter-attacking opportunity for both of the teams, as it's hard to go from 0 to 100 with a playstyle like that. K-Dop gets one. Mike Boy is smart enough to make sure that he is just never goes too far into one direction. Passes, already somebody waiting on the center. There's K-Dop to Alpha 54. But as much as that play would impress you a long, long time ago, no, it's pretty much the bread and butter of these teams.
3 minutes 38 was the longest overtime we've seen in the tournament thus far. And with every second that goes by, it looks more and more likely that we will be eclipsing that target. Actually, no, it was 4 minutes 30, I believe, actually. We're very nearly up at the double game length time with that overtime. And it's there's no real sooner look to who's going to score first. Every single punch is falling into a palm. Looks more like a sparring match than it does a competitive match as Mike Boy strides forward. Alpha equal to it and manages to evade Though as well. Good counter-attacking option here, 2v1. Only last in net. Beautiful pass in field and a lovely bit of ingenuity from Mike Boy using his own woodwork to spike it away. Into the midfield it goes once again.
It was ultra nervy. For that angle is prime for getting scored upon as you inadvertently put the ball in your own net. I think previously Carmine Corp unfortunately have caught themselves up in that situation. But keep themselves nice and tidy. Now with that one, K-Dop does not have anyone in support and will have to start the attack for Team Vitality by himself. Really support it as midfield line is not being crossed. And Radosin, try as he might to set up his teammate in the middle of the field, can't find anything either.
The one stat I was missing, 5 minutes 13. Thank you very much, Cheesecake. Rumble Bumblers versus Carmine Core. Both of those teams, of course, out of the competition now, though with a heart-in-mouth moment as his team comes to the rescue. Cross field, Alpha intercepts, though able to be strong enough to beat not just one, but two. Oli, that's brilliant. Backboard, but Mike Boy, too far behind the play.
I wonder what happened with Oli. He seemed to have the boost the moment I checked out his tank, and yet he just dipped out of the play. And what he has started himself came up to nothing, as there were no other support. Other teammates have been too far away. Might create something on this attempt, and you could see SUHHH setting up themselves. That's Mike Boy sitting in the center, though, waiting for his chance. Now it's Mike Boy's turn, but those 50s are very impressive. Goes back in. More demos. This could be an opening. Nobody blocks Radosin, and Radosin is right there. Stone cold.
Gotta love that RNG. Good spawn time. Good reactions to get back in net. 5 minutes. Plus 5 minutes. That's what we've reached between Vitality and SUHHH. It's only game number 2 of a potential bracket reset situation. Dangerous. Only that was on target. Alpha with the save. And look at that, no shot from Mike Boy, completely stymied there, no shot going. I'm surprised it was even registered. So, this is the new longest overtime of the Dutch Spring Electric Tournament, folks. 5 minutes 17, it's not going to be broken. Alpha cursing his luck, expecting that to slip underneath the crossbar. It ricochets off and away, and we are still at a nil-nil scenario.
Not yet. It's a long clear, and Oli immediately tries to predict where Radosin is going to clear it. A valiant effort. More passes coming on through, but this time, though, on the side of SUHHH is quicker to the ball. Better be careful. Nobody wants to get out of the net. Playing passively, that's K-Dop, making sure that he does not make any hasty moves. Nobody on Team Vitality wants to make a mistake. That's the only thing that SUHHH are dreaming about, that the Titans of Europe might be having just one misstep, one small, tiny error, maybe after 5 minutes of play, maybe after 6 minutes of play. No, everyone is keeping solid. Cannot wait to see the stats at the end of this one. We might see some crazy numbers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which way this goes. It's going to be a nightmare for one of the teams. So much work for so little reward. Oli, nice pinch. K-Dop gets a piece of it. Back into the middle. Shot away. Shot not on target. Shot away. Shot not on target. Though in the way. Backboard. Miss from Oli. And everyone's committed. Problem here for SUHHH. My boy able to just do enough to distract Team Vitality. They're still going forward, though. Great due diligence on the backboard. Shepherds that to the side and away, heading towards 7 minutes of play. The mental discipline for both of these sides as Radosin winds up and he shoots and he scores. We don't reach 7 minutes. Radosinho 2-0 Vitality.
Just finds himself an opportunity as he has found it so many times before. And who was it crossing the field in a clockwise direction for SUHHH, not being able to make a touch? I suppose the history books will not remember them. Team Vitality taking us for a long ride, but eventually making it on through another one-goal game, another overtime game, and for Vitality fans, most importantly, another win for their team. I was expecting more, actually, stat-wise, Relic. 16 shots?
Yeah.
We've seen that in regular play for SUHHH. That's even less, 11, if my math serves me right. It just did not work out for SUHHH in any way, and even Team Vitality, it took them literally almost 12 minutes to get to this point.
Got a feel for SUHHH. Got a feel for the Dutchman. That was rough. Again, it would have been rough if you were Vitality on the losing side of things. Yeah, you just get the sense. I mean, the tides have been turning all day, folks. The tides have been turning. This Vitality roster has turned up. K-Dop in particular, really stepping up his game. It's a different prospect. I mean, goodness, we're now not just in a situation where they've won one game against SUHHH, which again, their previous meeting, they got swept by this team. So to now win 2 in a row, 2 games away from a potential bracket reset, looking more likely than you think as we head into game number 3. And my question to you now, Jam, is looking at the last 12 minutes of action, where do SUHHH go from here? Because regardless of how honest they kept Vitality across that time, they still failed to score.
Looking for their passes and how they approach the play. Mike Boy might just get one on a demo, but Radosin carries it in his own arms like a newborn baby. That was incredibly cute. Can they even get a goal on the other end immediately? The game has livened up once again after 12 minutes that it took us to see a goal. I love seeing it from both Team Vitality and SUHHH. I love the caliber of play that we're seeing in a final Dacia Spring Electric Tournament. The atmosphere right here has been nothing short of thunderous.
It's electric. There's lots of lightning. It's at times very frightening. This Team Vitality roster certainly exuding those Season 9 vibes where it seemed almost impossible to score against them when they were the powerhouse of Europe before a certain acronym-based team came along and very much upset the apple cart. Then again, I'm saying that, but of course Vitality winning the EU Championship of Season X as we head down the other side of the pitch. Mike Boy, that's a tap-in, and SUHHH are going to lead in game number 3.
Just for a second, I was afraid he has put too much on that shot. It was so dangerously close to hitting the crossbar, and yeah, he was just waiting the bounce. Nothing too hard about it. SUHHH, with a good enough clear, finally get behind the defense of Team Vitality. I feel like in many ways that has been the problem. I see Alpha has stopped, and I do believe we might have a little bit of a break. Is everyone back? Everyone might be back, so we will consider this. Nope. Ooh, interesting. Well, we'll get you a quick word as if we have any information, but for now, this ball just runs away, and K-Dop better get some mitts onto himself. That is wild, but still waiting for confirmation, folks. So anything that's currently happening on the field might be a little bit peculiar and interesting.
Though is back in. It seems like he was the player in Strife. That is the weirdest. I imagine that the call was made, can we stop the game? And I'm imagining the admin might have just said no. Is the only way that I could sort of read that situation. Very bizarre. Not that it affected the game too much, apart from time being evaporated. Big save from Oli to deny Vitality from the equalizer. It's a very, very important 5 minutes for SUHHH. They need to get themselves on the board just to steady the ship. Alpha, nothing steady about him as he looks to dance his way through the defense. Now it's Radosin's turn. Lovely handoff to Kadop. Not really moving forward too much.
Yeah.
Finally some joy as they're past Oli. Alpha 54. Lovely redirect. Good read from though, equal to it. Here comes the recycling of the attack. Mike Boy, center circle. Falls straight to Alpha 54. Oli with the pre-read. Way too adventurous. But a real no-nonsense clear sees the lines very much vacant.
Sometimes you preheat the oven. Sometimes you pre-jump, like he just did. In one case, that is very helpful. In the other, Alpha 54 knows how to bait out the opposition right on the goal line. Kadop waltzes in and gets it going. What a beautiful pitch for Alpha 54 on the wall as well. And it all starts by Radosin himself. That was delicate. That was a very gentle souffle of a touch that he put for his teammate.
Delightful. You could hear the wobble of the defense of SUHHH. And Vitality, you can't say that they haven't been threatening that for the last couple of minutes, because they have. And now it's their job to go and press for a second, though a little bit late to the race, but at least got the challenge in. Oli on the backboard, looking for, though, the doink, and he's going to turn around and just lose the ball. Bad call here. Mike Boy trying to evade too, but you're not going to do that when Vitality are swarming. Infield pass, lovely infield pass at that. Kadop, little bit behind it, and in comes, it was going to be Alpha's. Met well as Alpha with the doink backwards. Radosin, this is a very complicated play from Vitality. Can they put it home? No, Mike Boy too strong again.
Collecting any sort of boost that Vitality can find in the corners, trying to put ugly shots, or awkward shots, I should rather put it, at awkward angles that are difficult for the opposition to take. Beautiful dip straight into the center, but just a little bit too high. The play continues. Radosin and Team Vitality push back to their own side. A tied game. Relic, where have I seen this before? All right, game number 1 and game number 2. Surprise, surprise.
Who fancies a third overtime? Anybody but the players,
Yeah, sure.
basically, is the answer to that one. 30 seconds left to try and ensure that that is not the case, and Vitality looking like the more likely here. Radosin infield pass, and Oli just evading the eyeing gaze of Kadop. Mike Boy, given away far too cheaply. Alpha not able to beat the challenge of though. Mike Boy round the corner looking for though is a bit too heavy. Oli in miscontrol here. Very nice transition from Team Vitality. It's them who looks to press. It hits the ground. Third overtime in a row.
Coming into this overtime, I am expecting SUHHH to immediately score. Nope. I'm expecting SUHHH to nip in the butt what Team Vitality has been trying to create for the past 5 minutes, and that is those infield passes right in front of net. It doesn't seem like there's a player blocking those on the side of SUHHH, and we've seen just how treacherous they can be. Straight up, Team Vitality have scored a goal of one of these plays, and with every single attempt that they're making again and over, in the same way, they're just getting closer and closer, and if SUHHH does not find a way to stop it, by either cutting out the original passer or blocking the shot with a player as the pass is coming in through, they might start conceding, because I don't think Team Vitality are going to stop trying for those, seeing how efficient they are.
These 50s, none of them are going the way of SUHHH either, so anytime that they do try and challenge in the final third, they find themselves going backwards at all times. This is a rare look forward as Mike Boy in the right place at the right time. Really can't do much with it. Alpha sees the entire pressing line of SUHHH in front of him, forced to return back for boost. Kadop taken out for his troubles. Though, looking towards net, Mike Boy, the demo run unsuccessful, but you know, those just going to go for the far post.
That is what a touch.
That is a very errant touch. Team Vitality get away with it. Is it going to get better? No, Radosin off the post.
My, what a touch to keep it away from SUHHH. Then what a team clear really effort. And then a read from Radosin, drops down, gets the boost. Gets sent back to home, and now straight on target.
No,
that's off. Radosin still in the back, will be setting up his teammates a bit too high, and let's just say his teammates are nowhere near for that one. Thankfully, they're back in the defense, and so no attack from SUHHH is going to be threatening. Underneath, of course, Kadop reads as well.
The oh no of shock into the oh no of you should have
midfield.
put that away.
That's
a
again.
Gorgeous play, and again, Oli coming up with a clutch save to deny Radosin, whose offensive chops today cannot be denied, looking so much more at home in this Vitality roster. It's a big move for the youngster, but it's a move that with every day that goes by looks to be paying off more and more. Oli, lovely Route 1 gameplay there, but no joy as it fails to go on target. Straight back to square one, so that's not a great touch, is it? But he's able to evade K-Dop. Really nice mechanical prowess, I should say. The handoff to Mike Boy. Oli sees what's ahead. The double commit allows him to step onto the ball. He sees Though in field. He finds Though, but a double commit again. Vitality, that defense is creaking. Here comes Mike Boy, and that's for me the wrong move, heading straight into a dead end.
Is there an immediate follow-up for this one? No. Both Radosin and Alpha immediately peel to the left as they're coming into the attack, not expecting anything from a little chip that his teammate has pulled off. But this allows Team Vitality to replenish their boost just for a little bit, but you don't give them such opportunities. Mike Boy will have to try and do it again, next time with a little bit more aplomb if he can.
These sorts of moves would have definitely gone in on other days, you feel like, for SUHHH. They are being made to work hard to even try and get a goal against Vitality. Another fortuitous pinch away for Team Vitality. Ole lying in wait. No one to receive except K-Dop in his own box. Not able to dribble past one, but again, there's Alpha shadowing. Nice follow-up transitional play here from Team Vitality. Very solid, very little in the way of mistakes. The bump on the keeper, the demo on Mike Boy. Good opportunity here for Vitality. Alpha 54 waits, he waits. He's got boost, he's not going to be able to use it. Mike Boy intercepts. Radosin up to the top of the box now. Who's going to be facing him? Though, straight down to the ground, and unfortunately tripping over each other there, Mike Boy and Though, but they get away with it because K-Dop completely fluffed the touch. K-Dop once again out of the play. Alpha 54 stepping in. That was never going to threaten the net. Still a 1-1 scenario here as we head towards 5 minutes of overtime again.
Folks, if you wanted to have a lot of Rocket League today, good news for you. You're having a lot of Rocket League, and seeing that's where nice. This is heading. K-Dop was looking for Radosin, his new teammate. Being where this is heading, we might see yet another series out of these two. Nobody wants to give an inch. Nobody wants to make a mistake. And though, as much power as there was behind that play, as much nobody could get it was behind that play as well. And the play goes wide, long, booming clears. But always Team Vitality just a little bit faster. Radosin clears it up off Alpha. Off. Is there a follow-up? K-Dop is there, and they might still outplay them, but Oli sits in tight. Double commit from SUHHH. Nobody's on the flank, so nobody from Vitality can immediately continue an attack.
Finesse is so hard to find in this game because the level of gameplay is so high. Mike Boy over one, and again, Alpha 54 back in time to make a crucial save. Demo, double demo, massive play from SUHHH, and they've got their go-ahead goal. 5 minutes 07 eluded. And SUHHH, they've got their first game on the board, though calling for a change of server. I'm not surprised after the shenanigans earlier on. Big, big win for SUHHH in this series.
Those demos were instrumental. Previously, the rotations for SUHHH were just not allowing for that. And with booming clears, every single time you try to go into the attack, you never catch up your opposition off guard because a booming clear then immediately goes your way. You have no time to even get to the other side of the field. But right there, they managed to make it work. But overtime seemed to be the name of the game here in the grand finals. And folks, it's getting more and more exciting. Team Vitality cannot get their third win in a row and get themselves on the match point. But for both teams, this has been a slog in the best sense of the word. Long and arduous journey to get any sort of goal, let alone a winning one.
How are we doing? Are we hydrating? We're hydrating. Because I tell you what, I think we're in for the long haul here, folks. I think we're in for the long haul. I still believe that Vitality can pull off the bracket reset, honestly. Like, I know that's a hard game to lose, but as hard as that almost 7-minute overtime, which Vitality won, I'm not so sure. You're spot on, Gem, as you usually are. Goals so hard to come by. And really, there's not really adaptations to be made, I don't think, because both teams are just playing to such a degree. They're almost playing into each other's styles. it's going to come down to those individual mistakes or indeed those power plays, as we saw from SUHHH right at the end. The opportunity opening up for a double demo. 3 versus 1 is never going to end well unless you put on the hero's cape. Game number 4, a chance for SUHHH to equalize, a chance for Vitality to settle any nerves that might have crept in and head on to match point scenario.
It plays for that one. Radosin was in a much more faster position, and now all of that rotation might spell a bit of a trouble. SUHHH roaming like sharks in the water. They've spilled blood of Team Vitality once. They're eager to do it again. But SUHHH really have not changed that much, and they're still being aggressive in the midfield line. They're being aggressive with those demos. I wouldn't blame them one single bit. Demos have gotten them a win, so expect to see a lot more of wrecked cars of Team Vitality on the field from this point on.
Alpha 54 got that flip reset off the ceiling. Lovely acrobatics, lovely ballerina-esque from Alpha 54. Ultimately comes to nothing. It's on the attack off the top of the box. The ball flies, though. Lovely shot and looking for a further one, and the third comes in, and still SUHHH unable to score. That was the best opportunity, I would say, in open play jam that we've seen in this entire series.
I'm going to be trying for another one, and I love what I'm seeing, that SUHHH are always utilizing a second player on through. You watched the first shot, but out of the border of the screen comes in yet another SUHHH player, always to try to change the direction of the play. Alpha is in the net. It's going to be incredibly hard for him to make a save, but no immediate follower from SUHHH, though not eager to go forward. His teammate Oli on the flank way deep, and out of nowhere comes K-Dop to rattle it off the top of the net.
I love that we've got folks in chat already predicting a 4th overtime. Not a surprise. Yeah, it would have been a surprise to find no one in net there as Mike Boy comes to the rescue. Though, oh, not a great touch. He has to readjust and use a lot of boost. And K-Dop just comes in and chips it over and missed there. K-Dop getting in field. Falls lovely for Radosin, but perhaps a little too quick. Blasts wide, taking out Mike Boy on the way out. Oli, oh, that's a massive win for K-Dop. He's got a free net to shoot out all except for Mike Boy, and K-Dop is just about gonna do the business.
Oh, look at that. First of all, what a breakaway. What an opportunity. Comes with a demo as well, so Mike Boy even has one small chance to get back in and through. But when you give K-Dop an uncontested shot from an incredibly tough angle, mind you, but if you give him an uncontested shot, he did the best he could with that. You knew that Mike Boy was coming in, but he put it in such a spot where Mike Boy struggled to get it out, and we saw just how much he struggled to get it out. And then, to top it all off, K-Dop stays in the spot where he knows he will be able to redirect, just gets into position for one last hurrah.
You can really tell that SUHHH are pulling out all of the tools in their arsenal, trying to slow things down. Alpha look at the double taps meanwhile, and that's going to go straight underneath the last defender. K-Dop again threatening. K-Dop. Oh, K-Dop indeed!
K-Dop, K-Drop from the ceiling, up top, does not care. Mike Boy, see you later. Though, see you later. Oli, not even relevant in that play, I suppose. 2-0. Vitality finds 2 goals in regulation. Are we sure this is allowed, really?
Your guess is as good as mine. Any sort of stat line or rule book has, I think, been thrown out the window for this series. It is all game, no holds barred. Though, Mike Boy. Oli, nice onto the backboard and a little bit too hard, though has to readjust and pick up the touch. Radosin. And that, again, another challenge which does not favor SUHHH one bit. Another challenge that does not favor SUHHH one bit, though gives it away. Radosin near post, and he's not going to find it. Oli with a crucial one. K-Dop now, all the way back, picks up the 100. Waits, stalls. This is
that's beautiful.
Classic K-Dop. Straight into the transition with Alpha on target, but soft touch.
That was incredible patience. That's the experience speaking for K-Dop. Thousands of similar plays that he has gone through and knew exactly what his opposition could show. That is a bit more sloppy than we expected for Team Vitality. A clear that doesn't go anyone's way. A little bit of couple of hasty cars thrown.
Oh, what's a bump?
No, it's a bump. I thought the cars were Team Vitality decided themselves to take themselves out of the play. What a fool I was. It, of course, was that man, Michael.
Radosin absolutely helpless on that one. as a player that you might know back from Rival Series, part of RJM, of course. Again, very popular in Rival Series, not for their rather audacious bumping tactics in the final season of that particular category. Noli forced out of this one. And a bit of, I wouldn't say capitulation necessarily, but a bit of uncertainty about the Vitality defense again as SUHHH look to threaten. Looking to go for more pacey challenges and just trying to scare SUHHH rather than being terrified themselves. Vitality as the game has really opened up. Though, goes for the side wall. He's going to go sideways again here through the corner. He sees the infield pass on. Oh, that is not what the Team Vitality defense wanted to see.
Taking another look at it, Vitality expecting their players to be much less closer than they were. Alpha, K-Dop, are there no 2-meter rules in France at this point? Spread out, come on, and wash your hands and everything. 15 seconds.
I don't think even masks could hide the smiles of SUHHH as they are effectively gifted a freebie. Now what are they going to do with it? Here we both thought, Jam, man, we're not going to get an overtime this time around. Well, guess what, folks? Strap in, because it's prolongation, the forkwall.
Alrighty, the statisticians are going to have a blast with this one. I'm actually wondering now, by this point, what is the longest combined time in the overtimes and win series, be it a best of 5 or a best of 7. I would suppose that maybe some of the record-breaking overtimes might spoil that statistic just a little bit. Myself, I had the pleasure of being a part of some of these records, and we had some tremendously long ones. But Alpha 54 tries to deliver an early gift for his opposition, so in no mood to receive gifts.
Oh, it's not Christmas yet, but K-Dop, like the spring Easter bunny, leaps into action. There might have been problems in the defense this time around, but nothing wrong with that infield pass. Lovely communication, and Vitality do indeed move on to match point.
Feels like somebody from SUHHH should have challenged this earlier. The play was happening above them rather than in front of them, and Team Vitality just connect on the play that they needed. K-Dop drops 3, and I've been praising Radosin, but the fact is that the K-Dop is just says, all right, I'm going to put my shooting boots on. I'm going to put my shooting cap on. I'm going to put my shooting raincoat. I'm not sure. Maybe it's raining right now on the field. And I'm just going to go. Team Vitality on match point for a bracket reset. I'll take 2.
Raining, Jam, I don't see a single egg-based umbrella in the stand. And I don't see a single quiet person in chat either. Hello to the almost 900 of you tuning in for your English commentary. We do, of course, have our French variety over on Le Rocket Baguette. And thank you very much for joining us. What a series we are being treated to. And now Vitality, just that one game away from the full bracket reset. I imagine we'll probably have a break in between those two series. And if you're SUHHH, Jam, you are really not in a good place, I would suggest, from potentially being those tournament favorites, certainly in my books, to now finding Vitality with almost like a second wind here thanks to the lower bracket. It's hard to bet against them, really.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I am a firm believer in Team Vitality's domination. Oli does not score on the net.
I think he found himself
I think I do
his own dimension there.
I hear the goal explosion, but everyone decided that, you know what? Too early. Let's breathe. Just calm ourselves down. False starts. No. It's a lights. Lights did go off, and somebody was just made a false start. So everyone just goes back, and we'll try to go for the same positions. Well, nothing has changed. It's still Vitality on the match point. It's still everyone on that team, I feel like, is stepping up, especially so K-Dop. I would love to see if we could visualize his stats, I would love to see just how big of a difference he has taken from the group stage to right now as he's performing on Championship Sunday. It seems like it's a graph that goes and then just shoots straight up and just like breaks through the graph itself.
I would not be surprised if his goal contribution percentage has more than doubled just on the basis of today. He really has been at the heart of everything good with Vitality. He's been at the heart of some not so great things as well. I would say let's not glaze past just how close Team Vitality came to losing game number 5 either, but here in game, or I should say game number 4 rather. Game number 6 starts off with a Vitality goal. We talk about calamity in the defense. This time it's SUHHH's turn and Radosinho on point yet again.
Oh, somebody needed to take that clear for SUHHH. Nobody really managed to do so in Team Vitality with pressure early in the game. Why not put yourself on a 1-goal advantage 13 seconds in? Why not put yourself on a 2-goal advantage 16 seconds in? Why not completely break down? I'm expecting SUHHH to take a good hard look at themselves after this game, whichever way this game is gonna go. Giving Vitality even 1 goal, a freebie, is not good. Giving 2 at the start of the game, I am severely worried for SUHHH and their chances in this match starting on up, and the aggression from them is gonna double, but I feel like that aggression is gonna be their downfall.
I can almost hear Les Marseillais in the background. The French national anthem is becoming a louder and louder tune in the ringing ears of SUHHH. And flashbacks, not happy flashbacks, to the Intel World Open as well. Radosin, the only player on the pitch not there, but he just wants to get in on the fun. And it looks like a fun Vitality roster to be a part of as things stand. One with still so much potential as they look forward with hope and optimism towards the spring split of RLCS. That's a pick in midfield. Mike Boy's going to be happy. They bring it back to a 1-goal game, sir.
Long distance shots have been successful for SUHHH on many of the occasions. I feel like that's one of the rare challenges that Team Vitality have actually lost. Usually they're quite on point, but the angle just did not work out for Alpha. And as such, the goal difference gets reduced to 1. SUHHH managed to shake off whatever has been ailing them at the very start. Maybe it was a very particular cold, or maybe it was just itchy feet. Maybe it was just Team Vitality being so darn good. But there's still plenty of time to be played in this game number 6.
They don't want to have itchy feet. They want it to be cool. They want it to be cold and calculated. They would rather it be happy feet, but no penguins on the pitch here. No flapping about to be had if you want to find success. Though is going to lose the challenge along with his teammate. It's now 2v1 the other way. Infield pass way too heavy from Radosin. There's no joy to be found there. K-Dop straight back in though, and Alpha 54 answers with aplomb.
Same thing over and over again. Oli just plants himself straight on the wall. Embarrassment, and even bigger embarrassment as Alpha 54 pulls off a shot that is quite hard to read. That's exactly why, though, and the rest of the company at SUHHH could not make it through. I'm just immediately expecting another kickoff goal. Demo is on Radosin, and K-Dop sits way deep. You could see he had no idea of going into the attack.
Whoa!
And no flip. Mike Boy just gets enough power on it, and the block doesn't come high enough. You can see right here on the challenge, Radosin tries to go high enough, but he goes low. He expects to immediately boot the ball back straight into the field. There's still a lot of that he needed to cover.
Ring, ring.
It was there.
The answer's Mike Boy. He picks up the phone, and once again, another reply. But SUHHH have to go above and beyond those replies because Team Vitality still have the advantage. K-Dop trying to be fancy, trying to be a little bit frivolous perhaps with his possession. Mike Boy in field, trying to go for the bump. K-Dop having none of it. Mike Boy getting the demo on Radosin, however. Not that that comes to anything, only way too far back. Pass. Trying to find a second pass. K-Dop intercepts. Dangerous here. All 3 players back. Mike Boy taking a huge risk. A huge roll of the dial to his own backboard. Gets away with it with half the game still to run.
Well, we've seen Mike Boy being able to put the ball high enough, and we've been trusting that he would. K-Dop removing Mike Boy from the net, but Mike Boy just shakes off the dust and gets an in back straight in time for him to make a clear. Round around the ball goes for Team Vitality, and that pinch is...
Okay.
I would say that was beneficial for Vitality. It kept their possession. It's just like nobody from Team Vitality decided to stay in possession. A little bit of a Musty, a little bit of Radosinho, a little bit of bottom left. How about 4-2 with 2 minutes remaining, round?
Must he have done that? Well, the answer is yes, because that SUHHH defense has shored up this game, and yet Team Vitality are still able to up themselves another gear. They're able to switch into nitrous. They're able to turn on the fire, the flare. That is a weird kickoff. I've never quite
Oh,
seen
and almost a net.
anything like that, and almost on target for a fifth. Team Vitality fans, you've got to be feeling good here. 1 minute 45 left to hold on to the 2-goal lead. So have been able to overturn that sort of a lead, but been unable to convert it into a win themselves. K-Dop able to beat out Mike Boy and Alpha too fast for though.
Now here's the question, Relic. How can they bring this back to the overtime? What's their way of bringing this back into the overtime? Because we have to see another overtime. It's in the rules. It's in a script. It's written right there. I've read it. I've skimmed through it a couple of times. Okay, I've read just a little very short article.
Like that,
Redosen. That's the third for the man. And look at that. K-Dop with 3 assists as well. Team Vitality. Can we already say bracket reset?
I think so. 3 goals is a tough challenge in 1 minute 10. They kind of need the kickoff to go their way. It does so, but Vitality already back. That said, near post. Mike Boy and Redosen meet once again. Mike Boy this time unable to score. And Time, of course, the cruel mistress that she is, continues to leave in her coat trails. As K-Dop tries something fanciful and just trying to now lock her down in their own half, our Team Vitality. Lovely game management. Again, this is where K-Dop really comes into his own. And what a turning of the tables for Team Vitality. I was not convinced early doors. Still problems to be sorted out. But again, yesterday, that would be 5-3. Today, the confidence seems just a little bit lacking on this occasion.
In the previous series between SUHHH and Team Vitality, SUHHH have managed to score 4 goals at most. Two of the games have gone to just 1 goal difference, and we have been seeing a lot of it in this series as well. Overtime, only if you really believe in it, folks. If you really, really, really believe in it, the overtime is going to happen. But it seems like for that to happen, SUHHH needed to score much earlier. Oli in the corner. If he would have received that ball just a little bit more cautiously, if the luck of a draw was just a little bit more gentle to him, they might have gotten something out of it. Instead, whatever SUHHH managed to do in this buzzer beater moment is not going to be enough to beat Team Vitality. And ladies and gentlemen, non-binary folks, everyone out there, we are going to yet another best of 7 series as Team Vitality make the bracket reset happen.
Vitality, once again, not surviving a series without dropping a game, but I think this their most impressive victory. SUHHH have been undefeatable, for better want of a word. They had that one early scare up against Team Singularity, I should say, and they had not looked back since. A reminder, again, I feel like it's timely, Jam. Last time these two teams met, SUHHH 3-0 swept Team Vitality. That is how big the turnaround has been over the course of a weekend. And now Vitality, with all of that lower bracket momentum, now with the bracket reset momentum, I think I'm on the cusp of changing my choice of who I think is going to win this tournament.
Well, I thought you were already back on the Team Vitality train.
I mean, I was sort of like ready to buy my ticket in anticipation. I think I might rubber stamp it now.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. Let us know which team you are cheering on as Grand Finals Redux version 2.0. The bracketing is going to be happening right after this, a short break, and then the Dacia Spring Electric Tournament will return for one more series. Stay tuned. Folks, are you ready? Have you gotten your snacks? Have you gotten your drinks? Have you got your flags if you want to cheer either for SUHHH, the fully Dutch team, or Team Vitality, unsurprisingly, the fully French team? If not, you just have one more moment to go for them before we start our final series of the tournament. Dacia Spring Electric, whatever the cost, whatever the result, somebody is going to be going away with a €15,000 prize, as well as the month test drive of the new Dacia Spring, the electric car that we've been ranting and raving about throughout the whole 4 days that this tournament has been going on. And before we start, let's just rave about it just a little bit more. Cheapest and most available electric car on the market, winner of multiple prizes, and just all around a thing that if you are ecology conscious, you would want to get. I want to get it. I've already mentioned it, Relic. I want my next car to be electric. And I've already thought about, can I just run out and like test drive the Dacia Spring for myself? There are sellers around here, so I might still get a chance. I would hope that I would pull out one more thing, is that if I could have a Dacia Spring Electric just roll behind me across, but I don't think I can fit it through those doors, unfortunately so.
Oh, and let's... Sorry, I was just looking up buying one for myself. Did you know, Jam, that in terms of charging rates, since of course that is something which is quite important, I feel, with these electric vehicles, you want to make sure that you're not going to be waiting, I don't know, days to be able to take a 5-minute trip down the shops. Did you know that the Dacia Spring Electric can charge from 20 to 80% in about 7 hours? Now that, my friend, sounds like an overnight job. And that sounds incredibly exciting if you've got a 9 to 5, or if you're just readying up for that lovely trip and vacation that you've got saved up with all of your friends. It's a great car. Go check out our lovely friends and sponsors over at Dacia and check out the playoff bracket. This is how our story unfolded, of course. SUHHH, the only team that has not dropped a series thus far. They did just 5 minutes ago, and in quite spectacular fashion as well. Team Vitality winning 4-1 after, as you can also see down the lower bracket, just performing the most complete of lower bracket runs. First of all, beating FC Multiculti. That was a very scary series for them. But come day 4, come the final day of this tournament, 3-1 Carmine Corps, 4-1 Semper, 4-1 SUHHH. It's not just been close wins, Jam. It has been convincing wins. And SUHHH looked out of ideas in that first best of 7. They're gonna have to have hoped that some inspiration, a eureka moment came to them in the break.
And they had themselves a little bit of a time to reorganize themselves. I'm not exactly sure what the plan could be. Team Vitality throughout the tournament have aged like a fine wine. So yes, maybe for SUHHH, they can counteract that with a fine cheese. I'll have to think about that. One way or the other. It's best of 7 once again, Relic. One of these teams is going home the champion, the inaugural Dacia Spring Electric Tournament champion. And Team Vitality would very much like to be that team, but do not count Mike Boy, Tho, and Ole out. And my goodness, Relic, I so want that team to be coming in for a new season of RLCS.
Yeah, look, we've looked at this roster as early as last year, of course, Intel World Open, when they were playing as simply the Netherlands. And we know that we've seen Heroic and the Flying Dutchman. There have been attempts at this made. That was a great attempt on target from Mike Boy, who was certainly the biggest goal threat for SUHHH in the last time these two teams met in that previous best of 7 that only went 5 games. I want to see more from his two teammates. I want to see more from Ole. I want to see more in general from Tho. I want to see more clinical counterattacks, because that is what Team Vitality has been successfully doing time and time again. My voice breaks. I'm excited. We passed the first minute. No goals.
All right, so folks, throw in your predictions in the chat. Who is going to take it? What scoreline? And for a bonus point, how many overtimes are we going to see across this series as well? Previous one decided to extend our day just a little bit more, but we're not complaining. We're seeing Team Vitality showcasing what their full might be, with Radosin as the new player. Fairy Peak, as far as we know, is going to be sitting out the whole of the spring split out. That's where Radosin is there. And it seems like after a couple of adjustments here and there, tightening of the screws and maybe putting the aim higher or lower, we'll have to figure out which one it was, Team Vitality managed to build themselves quite a momentum across 4 days of the tournament.
Yeah, contractual obligations, I believe, is the reason why Fairy Peak's not going to be on the roster. Knock, 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 and the door is finally blown apart.
That was indeed the three little piggies situation, and nobody can withstand the jackhammer that Though has brought in for this one. At this point, it is just a normal best of 7. I suppose if you forget everything else that happened before that, nobody has any extra lives, any extra chances. Team Vitality have taken that extra life from SUHHH earlier, and that if that series has anything to go by, we are in for a treat. And Radosin tries to serve something of his own straight from the top of the dome.
Soft scoop he was looking for. Well, it was soft, but it was a little bit too soft. Some would argue it was a milkshake, but nevertheless, the scoreline remains the same, 1-0 as we head towards half-time. And Alpha are able to put it back into the blue side of affairs. Demo, Mike Boy on K-Dop, and Though only going straight for Alpha. No mercy, and because Alpha was already on his way, reading how that ball was going to progress down the pitch, he kind of avoids the grim fate that awaited. Though, with the reset, Mike Boy looking for the redirect, and that's on target away by Alpha. Double commit, Oli. Has he got the flip reset? I don't think he has, and he's not going to win the challenge either. Though able to get a piece of this, Mike Boy forced back, good read. Wins that particular race. I feel needed to, otherwise that was a real risky defensive predicament that SUHHH would have found themselves in. Radosin forced back. Tho's going to have a free shot, and big save coming out from the big man Radosin.
And it all starts with Team Vitality trying to clear the ball, whether K-Dop or Alpha, without any boost. So he makes a touch, requires his teammate to use all of his boost to go from the other side of the net, puts it to the side. Radosin comes in. He tries to fit himself somehow into this rotation, all the while SUHHH players are crushing on in and making the life of Team Vitality in the defense very dangerous. But this shot, we were all looking for the first player coming in. We should have kept our eyes on Alpha 54, who snipes it from the middle of the field.
You could hear the cartoon sound effects as Though sped up his wheels, realizing, hold on, I can't go for boost. That ball's going into the net. And from there, you can just tell that the defense has just been a little stretched. You can tell that they're a little bit panicky. And Alpha, no panic in that strike whatsoever. 90 seconds left. Tie game, as we have seen many a time before in this grand final. Oli, a little bit quiet, tries to spark some life into the attack, denied by K-Dop. Though in field finds Oli, who pulls out. Oh, you can tell that Vitality have gotten into their heads with just how many 50s they've won. Right down the other end, Radosin makes them pay.
Oh, scooping it straight from the wall. Waits patiently, just brings it in. He does not care about the opposition. Perhaps the challenge could have gotten just a little bit quicker, but you go for a challenge and you misjudge. You fly all the way out and you have no more second chances. So SUHHH delay for as long as possible. Everyone eliminates everyone, or at the very least, Oli and Alpha 54 mutually assured destruction.
No.
K-Dop comes in for a little bit of his own taste. And just like that, the fickle situation on the field turns for the worst for SUHHH.
You would not, if you have just tuned into this tournament today, you would not believe me when I say that these two teams looked like this, but it was the other way around. You wouldn't believe me. SUHHH looking, I said they were lacking confidence earlier. They looked devoid of confidence now. Hoping more than knowing. Team Vitality seemingly with all of the knowledge. They are the Lore Masters. Only able to pick this one out with 38 seconds left. They are still alive. But a first game win in this bracket reset best of 7 would give them the jolt that they, I think, require to save their tournament hopes.
You could see that K-Dop was trying to decide between boost and going for a net, and as he was torn apart in both of these directions, that's where SUHHH come in and get themselves a goal. A tough one as it was. Team Vitality just couldn't find an immediate clearance right in front of the net. Mike Boy, that is a beautiful crew from Alpha. Anything less than that, and the threat of a follow-up from SUHHH was mightily real. Mike Boy gets bumped out of the play. There's not going to be anyone from Team Vitality immediately following the play. But most importantly, they got the threat out Who's
Oli?
going to get the backboard? It's going to be Oli, but Radosin knows exactly where there's going to go. Another backboard attempt. Mikeboy's not going to be taking that one. One last chance for SUHHH to tie it up, go into the overtime. But the goal is refusing to have the ball in it. And SUHHH somehow needs to read Alpha 54. Good luck with that.
The sale had ended and the shop was shut. Vitality come out with another win. How many is that?
Look
in
at those
a row
saves.
now?
Look at those saves from Team Vitality. Incredible number. The scoreline could have been that much more different. And yet we are seeing 13 on the board. All the while 16 shots from SUHHH. Just in regulation, we haven't even gone to the overtime. They're pulling these crazy numbers. We saw just how well Team Vitality was tested, and yet they passed their test with the highest of the grades.
Flying colors, yeah, 100%. Oh, what's happening? You know, it's rough to say that they are doing anything particularly wrong. I just feel as if they've met their match on this occasion. The Vitality machine has whirred into life at the worst time for them on day 4, when you almost think that if SUHHH had been in that lower bracket scenario where they were building up the games and building up the confidence, they might very well have found themselves with this sort of scenario where they were feeling just everything was going right for them and that everything was clicking. It's almost as if they clicked too early, SUHHH. Everything was going so great and so wonderful. Of course, a reminder for everyone who wasn't at the beginning of the tournament, SUHHH weren't even meant to be here. They were a fill-in team because poor Pashy90 had COVID. The team had to pull out. Again, we wish Pashy90 the very best health. Mikeboy tried to get an early one here in game number 2, denied by Alpha, wins a second challenge. SUHHH is out early, who actually manages to out-sus the SUHHH, turns it around, looking for the double tap. He's going to have the follow-up from Mikeboy. Another save. Alpha going to pinch this off the woodwork, though puts it home. Massive for SUHHH.
Perseverance, practice, and just a whole lot of shots. Maybe that's how SUHHH are going to break down Team Vitality's defense. This time they had all the players, and so early in the game, those rotations and the boost numbers were just a little bit off for Team Vitality to really pull out a long-standing and efficient defense. So that is the fire with which SUHHH needs to be playing. And also, if we're talking about that SUHHH have met their match, I'm really happy for SUHHH because being evenly matched to Team Vitality, or having Team Vitality as your match, means a lot for this Dutch team.
Ooh, nice committal, and look at that, Oli sneaking in after a double commit, possibly solo standard special coming out. Let's break this one then. Alpha, Radosin, K-Dop just caught out really, had to do a quick turn, by which point Oli was already there. Looking much better. Looking much, much better for SUHHH. Much more like it, some will say, although is this just a brief reprieve as Vitality look to steady the ship. 4 minutes still of game number 2 still to run. It should be mentioned as Radosin's going to be demoed before he reaches the orange half. Alpha 54, that's dangerous. That's straight to no. That's possibly going to be a third had it not been for Captain K-Dop. Oli, that is going to be a third.
When it rains, it pours. Relic and Team Vitality are up against the tropical storm brought straight from the Dutch provinces somewhere in, let's put a finger in a map, Caribbean. I hope there's at least one province in Caribbean for Dutch people. But geography aside, 3-0. A notable turnaround from game number 1 as Team Vitality, it feels like every single time they go for rotation, every single time they're pressured into making a defensive play, it always just falls apart incredibly quickly. It's SUHHH always catching them off unawares, off guard, in the most awkward position open. And Team Vitality just does not have the answer for that. All the while when SUHHH are coming into the attack, there's always somebody right in the face. You could see Mikeboy, I think, was going straight for the center. K-Dop removes Oli, but the danger is still there as Mikeboy puts in the 4th one.
Forgive me, oh humble and wise color caster, me as a not so knowledgeable play-by-play. I'm struggling really to figure out how this game has become such a whiplash from the 4 games that we've seen previously. That watertight defense, that excellent offense, just seems a distant memory now that SUHHH have put 4 past Vitality. I was talking about that jolt in the arm that they needed. Well, this is it. This is the one. And if they don't ride off this particular victory, I'm calling it a victory now, even with the lion's share of 3 minutes left. Vitality just look nowhere. Oli's going for stuff like that, and Mike Boy not able to follow up.
Nope. Oh, this pinch would have been a masterpiece, a museum piece perhaps even, but off target, and so still managed to have a player in the defense. Midfield passes. Alpha 54 was going for it, but not always. You managed to cook up something that will be as perfect as some of the goals we're already seeing from Team Vitality. Even Team Vitality, I feel like Relic will not be able to overcome a 4-goal deficit. I'm prepared to eat my words. I'm going to place my words right here on this plate in front of me, and I'm going to eat them in case this needs to happen. K-Dop puts in the first one. He has been deadly when it came to aerial play so far in the series. He's been living his best days. 3 more to go.
3 more to go indeed. 2 minutes 10, the amount of time that they've got to try and at least force the overtime, of which we saw 4 in 5 games in the last series. So who knows? Oh my word, Alpha 54 off to Radosin. The defense is asunder for SUHHH, and they're not able... Oh, it's asunder! Haha! Caught that a little bit too late, but it doesn't matter again, because the punishment wasn't there from Vitality. In fact, it's going to go right down the other end. Good save from Radosin. Mike Boy, the turnaround, not going to get demoed. And I feel like, actually, that might be where we see some of this Vitality softness coming into play, Jam, because whereas before they were putting together really nice demo plays, really good demo runs, really good bump plays in general, this time around, SUHHH is just playing with their food.
This game number 2 has turned the series on its head, and whatever Vitality has managed to accomplish in the 5 games before that, as they reset the bracket, and even the game number 1, seemed to have been nullified. I wonder how long this aggressive playstyle from SUHHH can work. It feels like right now they're reaping the rewards of constantly being just right there, constantly committing a player, whatever the cost, and it's working out for them. What if it's not going to work? What if that hard commit is going to leave them vulnerable? I feel like Team Vitality might immediately then starting finding the goals of their own. Long clears when nobody's back in the net. Maybe not in this game. I'm wondering exactly how Team Vitality are going to counteract it and whether they're going to be smarter when it's going to come approach to SUHHH's attacks in game number 3.
You know, Jam, when you buy yourself a lovely, brand new Dacia Spring Electric, the first thing that you want to do really is to get insurance for it, because you never know when there is going to be a write-off, and this game has write-off written all over it. A nice consolation goal here. K-Dop with a good challenge on Mike Boy. Alpha wins the race against Though. On target, gets a second, but I think we all know that with 45 seconds left, unless there is a kickoff goal to be had in and amongst the first 20 of those, of which there might still be here, as Alpha's going to pick this up from the midfield line, then all hope is lost. Alpha 54, Alpha 54, no! Alpha 50, no. That's what's happening there, as Though locks him down. That's going to go in for number 6. SUHHH tie up the series.
It's just continues to be a game that Team Vitality decided, yep, we have those. It's unfortunate, but we do have those. Maybe they're going to quietly say soccer blue to themselves and continue on pushing. K-Dop does not stop. Alpha 54 does not stop. Radosin, who has already tasted some of the highest level of play, does not stop. He has been tremendous, and I'm still wondering who's going to be the decisive factor for Team Vitality, how they're going to counteract this. Plays like that, even if they're not going to make a difference in this game particularly, do give a big promise coming into the next one.
Well, at least they're still getting goals away, Team Vitality, but it's the other side of the pitch which became the big issue this time around. Or maybe it wasn't so much Vitality's problems as we should be crediting SUHHH for how well they've played in front of net. They seem to be really just lacking ideas, and now they've got some new ideas, and we're seeing them come to fruition. Game 3 remains a bit of an unknown. Do not take this result, ladies and gents. Is it going to be a 7th? Yeah, it's going to be a 7th. Do not take this result as a quid pro quo going forward. This is but an anomaly, I feel, and it would not I think, do this series any injustice if we saw things calm down a little bit. And perhaps we saw a bit more of a 0-0, 1-1 affair, maybe even one of those fabled overtimes that we saw previously.
And so, once again, puts a ton of shots. It's just that this time, Team Vitality were not able to put any stop to them. So, in that sense, SUHHH's offensive pressure hasn't really gone down. It is Team Vitality no longer being able to deal with it. But I'm totally down with you, Relic. It's the next game. I do not see Team Vitality all of a sudden being fully taken apart, little piece by piece. I do not expect them to lose another one with such a high score. The game's run away from you. And this one ran away from Vitality pretty early. But I have full trust in them to make, if not a turnaround, at the very least to put a very, very strong stop to it. Like, the buck stops here, Team Vitality are going to say. And Mike Boy, as hard as he might try, I don't think SUHHH are going to see yet another 7-goal difference. Not in the next game, one way or the other.
As a very famous news anchor once said, that escalated quickly, and a little bit too quickly if you are relatively aware of how Rocket League works. You know, there are games where it seems like, okay, this is how things are going to go. And I tell you what, if SUHHH do go on to win this game with as convincing a scoreline as we saw previously, then we can start to talk about the Team Vitality collapse. Simple 50 win for Mike Boy. K-Dop caught out of position, and SUHHH with the go-ahead goal once again.
Beautiful read, as it's a perfect opportunity for you to steal a ball off the player as he's going out through the flank, and for a bit does not have the control over it, and you can see that the ball was on top of Alpha 54's car. That's exactly where Mike Boy comes in. More shots coming on through. Again, you never look for the first player coming in. You're always seeing who's coming in second, both for SUHHH and from Team Vitality. The threat always come in somewhere from the side, and you need to have the eyes everywhere, front, sides, sometimes in the back of your head to make it at this level.
You can see what the idea that Mike Boy was fashioning in his head. Get it to the backboard, get the demo and/or bump, and it's a tap in. Just like that. This time, Mike Boy's going to be the one tapping it in. That's actually his second of the game. And it all just comes from a challenge that he wins. It falls favorably, and there's no one there to block it from going in.
More pressure from Team Vitality. It all starts with Alpha 54 forced to make a standing touch. Although all the cars are rotating around him, but it doesn't matter. The ball still stays in Vitality's side. He provides nothing, no value. Now a counterattack. One player already beaten. No demo happening. I was expecting such a straight-up go for Vitality players to remove them out of the defense, but it goes the other way. They know that need to be careful with those attacks. But so far, Vitality just does not have the answer, and the quality of play has dropped from the French side. They need a goal to just calm themselves down. They need a goal that stops the SUHHH putting on that snowball at the top of the mountain and rolling it down.
I don't think any goal will work either. A goal at 2-0 would have been what the doctor ordered, not on that occasion. Another shot comes in. That's going high. That's helped high by Mike Boy. K-Dop in field, though, bats it away. Mike Boy, the transition. Alpha misses. Oli takes it to the far corner, picks up the 100 boost. He's dangerous from here, but so is K-Dop, equal to him in defense. Radosin, that's a bit loose. Stepping in is though, straight back to K-Dop, and SUHHH can afford these time-wasting moments. There is 3 minutes left. Still a lot of it to waste, though, going for the far corner. Through it again with the second touch. Backboard from Mike Boy. Oli all on his own. Double tap. Would work again. In again. And Radosin is going to save his team.
They even get the boost, and Alpha 54 starts an attack, but goes all the way down to the ground to make it so that SUHHH will be left guessing as which way the Frenchman is going to be continuing his attack. But even with that clear, even with putting SUHHH on just a little bit of pressure, even once again looking for passes here and there, Team Vitality just does not have the same approaches, same looks on the net that they've been getting so frequently in the previous series. The best of 7 that started the grand finals, and best of 7 that took Vitality and SUHHH to the second after the bracket reset has happened. That's 2 minutes remaining, and I still don't see much from Vitality. That is going to put yet another shovel worth of dirt on the grave of Team Vitality.
Oh, Alpha and Radosin. There's got to be a call there. You let Radosin take that touch if you're Alpha. There's got to be a shout. You keep going. I've got this. Even if the challenge is lost, at least the right call on rotation has been made. Team Vitality finding themselves in a sinkhole jam. They can't get out of the mud.
I think I'm going to go to the kitchen and look for my own words and also put in some ketchup on them. I'm going to grab a fork and a knife, and I'm going to do what I promised, Relic. I'm going to eat my words. I did not expect a scoreline of the same caliber. It still hasn't even reached the 7 and whatever that we had in the previous game, but it's going there. It's going there. And even Radosin scoring 1 to finally stop the bleed doesn't give me the same comfort as I would have expected it from 2 goals ago by SUHHH.
It almost feels like the chapter's been written and then the final sentence is, and Team Vitality scored, rather than Team Vitality being a much more active part of the overall narrative. A real swing. Almost as much pendulum swinging jam as Karmine Corp and their form in this tournament. I would say it's bizarre to think that a team that looked like everything had clicked, like everything was going their way, just falls apart with 7 goals in game number 2. 4 goals at least. Make that 5 goals in game number 3. There's still time to equal the 7.
There's still time. And if SUHHH gets 7 in a row, I'm not sure what the words of the coach are going to be. I have no idea what Farah is going to tell Team Vitality and to make them recover from this. This is such a turn from the form. Folks, just what, 30 minutes ago? Roughly. We have seen Team Vitality 4-1 their opposition with some of the best plays. K-Dop came in alive. Alpha and Hayes started connecting on multiple levels. Radosin even stepped back because it was all K-Dop's and Alpha show. And still, this is the turnaround. Those 5 minutes took the momentum away from Team Vitality, and SUHHH have just dropped all of these goals on the floor, and they keep on going in.
I was worried that the audience wouldn't believe me when I said that it looked like these two teams were reversed from day one. This is what it looked like on day one. This is what it looked like when SUHHH were 3-0 sweeping Vitality. They say that form is temporary and that class is permanent. Well, we've certainly seen that class is permanent with the likes of K-Dop. And we've seen that form is temporary because it seems like that temporary moment of just nothingness for SUHHH, where it really didn't look like they were going to be a major part of even the bracket reset series. Those fears have been washed away. Is there going to be a Brazil from here? 15 seconds left, one last chance to drive forward for SUHHH. Team Vitality just looking for a second, any more consolation to try and, I don't know, put a positive spin on it, but I see no positive spin. The downward spiral continues. SUHHH win 2 in a row in dominant fashion.
I wonder when was the last time Vitality was 7-1. We didn't reach that point, although we sort of reached that point in the previous game when I was mad. That was crazy. That was 2 in a row. I still don't understand where we got that, but it was 7-3 in game number 2, 6-1 in game number 3. I suppose the good news is, Relic, that the scoreline gets smaller, but for Vitality, it feels like a complete shakeup is needed. Where do you get this energy? Where do you get a boost of power that Vitality's clearly just lost somewhere? I watch Alpha play, and it seemed like he's looking tired, for lack of a better term. He is just always just a little bit late for everything that's happening right now, and I don't understand where have all of this mastery has gone from the previous games.
And maybe we don't need to understand Jam. I think there are some moments, and it doesn't just happen in Rocket League, of course, across all esports, where as casters, as analysts, you just cannot explain why things have taken such a turn. Mike Boy, I think that's the 3rd go-ahead goal that he's had in this series. For SUHHH, you can always count on him to put it away, especially from that range when there's 5 centimeters between yourself and scoring a goal itself.
And not to mention, SUHHH starts game number 4 with 2 demos. 2 demos, immediately a player coming out off the kickoff and collects the scalps. 1, 2. Team Vitality just don't stand a chance. Don't stand a chance where their defensive line is completely removed. Straight up. No, he isn't looking at what the problem was there. Rather is he was looking at SUHHH, or know that they are right now firmly in Team Vitality's head and are going to be pushing that advantage for as long as possible.
Lost and found. Has anybody seen these three players? Team Vitality missing in this bracket reset series, a series which they earned wholeheartedly. Alpha 54, he's been quiet today, but not quite to this degree. The ball back out into the middle. Demo from Though. Mike Boy with a double tap. It ricochets off the woodwork. That's going to go all the way down the other end, but that is not on target, Jam.
The angle was just not right. Team Vitality could have earned themselves something, especially after the effort they have put into defending this play, but not to be. Alpha 54 goes in for the ball as if he is the one shooting on target. His rotation, perhaps the shortest that he could have taken, still nets him nothing. Vitality with a little bit of play forward. Radosin, no boost. Alpha 54 backwards, falling onto it. I would assume with no boost whatsoever, and an angle that would have taken a magician's touch. He doesn't get it on target, but just for a second, he looked like he could.
And the overall play from Vitality has picked up over the last 30 seconds. They've spent more time, I would believe, in the blue half than they have in any of the previous games when you look at it as microcosms. Radosin, not going to find any way through there. And Alpha 54, if there is anyone to pick the lock, you would imagine it'd be him, but a complete misread of the situation, and Radosin forced back. He's going to lose that 100 boost as well, thanks to the onrushing Though. Double commit in the offense from SUHHH. This is Alpha's to claim. And up he goes through the air. Where he goes, nobody knows. He's going to get that flip reset. He's going to get a shot on target. He's going to be denied by Mike Boy, and K-Dop's going to completely misread that bounce. Difficult, though, given that it was on the lip between floor and backboard. Over to the side here, Radosin, lovely feint touch infield to K-Dop. Got Alpha, they're all lining up, and Tho's been bullied, and Vitality can't score to save their lives.
Too many cooks. I'm glad that they've realized that somebody needs to come in and dump the goalie out of the net, but it still does not work. Oli straight in the face of this teammate, and thankfully for Team Vitality, somebody is in the back as the last player to take the danger off. Clear is on point, but Though immediately there as well. Oh, Team Vitality. Good news, Relic. The difference is only one goal. And as you rightly said, Vitality are finally looking like they managed to cobble something together. They need a goal.
Oh,
that was almost the other way. That is the other way. Fruit salad pouring out. Oli for the second one for SUHHH.
Yummy, yummy. That is a double challenge win for Mike Boy. A double commit for Vitality, and just as it looked like they were going to rope their way back into the series, they're put back another goal. SUHHH staring match point scenario in the face. Should they not just even keep the clean sheet, as long as they only concede one, they're going to be home and dry. Lovely clearance from Mike Boy. Oli looking for Though. That's a nice pass in, but again, Radosin back in town to throw it to the side. Vitality, what's happened, my dudes? What has happened? Backboard, Mike Boy, Though. A rare challenge win, it seems now, for K-Dop, but he's lost possession again.
Beat one, can only beat the second one. He wasted the last possible moment. But the strategy is not with the first player for SUHHH. It's always with somebody who's coming in from the back, and this time it was Though. That 50 couldn't have fallen in a better way in front of a net. Though just needed to gently chip it straight into the net of Team Vitality. That's exactly what he did. SUHHH, strategy that puts two players very aggressively, continues to pay, continue to give dividends. This one is a bit too high. K-Dop might still drop it bottom left. That's off the post, and Though is not even needed to remove it from net.
They have been outscored by 3 times the amount of goals Vitality in this series. Strange to think that after a game one where we thought the roll was just going to keep on going.
No!
It defies belief how Vitality haven't scored in this game. How many chances do they want?
Is there a comeback of some sort? Because 3-0 in 30 seconds, I'm not talking about this game. No doubts about that. I'm not talking about this game. This win would put SUHHH on match point, and as team coming from the upper bracket, well, the bracket has been reset. So there's no bracket, folks. It's a lie. The bracket is a total and utmost lie. All that matters is SUHHH and Team Vitality are playing for 15,000 euros. Only one of these teams is going to take home the full prize, as well as their chance to daily drive the Dacia Spring for 1 month.
Words escape me.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think mine just did as well. But let's recollect them, because at the very least we have one more game relic, and SUHHH. Is there a way to stop them? I feel like the only way our Vitality can get something out of this next game if they score first. They need to score first, and even if it's just one goal, they need that position where they're playing with an advantage. They need to make sure that SUHHH doesn't make risky plays, doesn't push forward, or at least when they push, they over push. Easier said than done, but Team Vitality, do you have it in you?
I mean, we've got to read between the lines somewhere, right? I think Vitality coming off that lower bracket reset on a bit of a high, couple of wobbles in the first series, were so really playing up to their potential. Maybe not. Were Vitality really that good? Were SUHHH really that bad? I think somewhere in the middle is the answer, and I think that SUHHH are now playing to the potential that we were expecting of them, and I think Vitality's is almost like realization is setting upon them. They've crashed back down to earth. I think they are playing worse than they should be, don't get me wrong, but perhaps the highs that we saw was as good as it gets in the short term, at least. We're one game away potentially from calling a day on the Dacia Spring Electric tournament. SUHHH on match point scenario. Oh, don't give us the PowerPoint presentation now, please. We return to the action, and not a moment too soon, as Vitality are fighting for their lives.
Haven't missed anything, folks. But if you're just tuning in, where have you been? Where have you been? But glad to have you here. Glad to have you here because you're watching.
Oh, wow!
Watching something like that. Team Vitality against 3 match points. So, finding their second breath, maybe even a third breath in this series. I wish for this second best of 7 relic to go to the game 7. But Team Vitality have a monumental task. A rock bigger than themselves to push up that hill. It only takes just a couple of mistakes here and there. And it takes the belief in Vitality that they can still do.
A reverse spaceman sweep now required. 3 game wins in a row. Team Vitality is effectively facing a best of 5, which they have to sweep, and that is not a good start to it.
A little bit of magic as they hand the ball to each other. Oli recognizes no chance for him to take a token, get it from the back. And I wonder if Team Vitality, once again, were expecting the first player to come on through. In any case, on almost no space. You could see how close up players are to the net. On almost no space to play around, they managed to just jump and spring high up and get so much power on their aerials and so much power on their shots, as well as precision. Let's talk about that as well. That Team Vitality just have no time and no positioning to react.
Alpha, Radosin makes his way to the backboard. Why was that touch needed? It falls to Kadop regardless, who's got the 100 steal. It's 1v3. It's never going through. Radosin, who notably has actually switched to the Fennec. The first time that we've seen him switch card within the space of a series. And I'm not surprised either. They had to change something, whether it be placebo effect, whether it be the hitbox. Something had to change. Words that ring very true, I feel, from Fairy Peak earlier in the weekend. Neutral ball, Oli. Gonna pick this up and follow. Just wasting time as Radosin gets a save over to Kadop. He falls out. Radosin with the shot. Kadop, they post! And that's an excellent play! So, with quick, sharp reactions to deny.
Oh, this could have been it. This could have been the miracle that Team Vitality were looking for. A miracle that they created with their own hands, mind you. There's nothing lucky about that play. They made it work. But Tho says no. One of the biggest no's I think we have seen this tournament. Denial of the goal that could bring Team Vitality just a little bit closer, not even to victory, to a tied game, a potential to bring things back.
Nice stop from Radosin. Alpha, this is looking very promising, but they could not stop Mike Boy, who for me, Jammers, stepped up. And that is a lovely assist straight into Oli. Shoots that top pocket. And Vitality, the task just got bigger.
It was immediately looking so dangerous for Radosin. The whole net needed to be covered, and credit to him, he knows where the ball is going, and he almost makes a stop to it. But once again, too much power, and having availability of 2 players to double up, put more power on it.
Oh,
no
what a redirect!
Way. This is K-Dub-esque. It's on the other end of the field.
Oli going slowly. 2-11, 3-0. Team Vitality. Oh, it's almost like the Terminator, only their hand now is able to be visible through the deluge which they find themselves in. K-Dub tries to get something off the kickoff, but there is nothing to be had. It's gone down the other end, and Radosin again required to sweep in and make the save. Team Vitality on their last legs.
2 minutes, Relic, 2 minutes. And all the while, all we see from Team Vitality is that one hand poking up from the metal. SUHHH are high-fiving that hand. They're just saying, oh, yep, yeah, all good. Team Vitality, good enough for you. Well done. That's clearly not a Dutch accent, but that's a 4-0 hat trick for Oli. We'll have to figure out an MVP. Well, we don't have to, but in your opinion, Relic, out of SUHHH, Mikeboy, Tho, and Oli, if we had to give a prize, who would we give it to? Because that team, I think, throughout the tournament, had everybody on that roster step up.
It's so strange, isn't it? Because, again, I would look at Nolly, for example. I would look at Exotic and Chaurzette before the Semper collapse, of course, in the upper and then lower bracket. I look at times, Radosin and K-Dub, and it's difficult to choose between this Dutch trio because all of them have played so well. All of them went off the boil last game, but in this series, there is one player that has stood out, and I don't think it's a player that any of us were expecting to stand out, and his name is Mikeboy. Mikeboy has been there at the spearhead of everything that has been a good SUHHH attack. He has been on the end of good passing plays. He's been creative, of course, creating the third of that Oli hat trick. Team Vitality, you can see it in the body language. You can see it in how conservative their rotation is. I think that they know that the jig is up as well. The fuel reserves have been extinguished. And Jam, just 20-30 minutes ago, I was asking, what more do SUHHH have to give in this series? Well, I tell you what, they have reached into the very depths of Davy Jones's locker. And I think that they have come out with a very, very strong answer. They used to be heroic. I think it is the return, maybe the ethereal spirit of the Flying Dutchman, and they are flying once more indeed. SUHHH win the Dacia Spring Electric Tournament. Team Vitality, after what a recovery it was on the lower bracket. Backhand slapped. No, you won't be taking home the €15,000 prize. You won't be driving a lovely Dacia for a month. SUHHH, I look forward to seeing you in the spring split.
Fantastic performance. SUHHH, please give us the very same performance that we've seen here and bring it all the way back to RLCS. I am begging you right here. This has been tremendous. And for folks who love books and movies and games with multiple endings, Relic, it almost felt like we saw multiple endings. Originally, I would imagine SUHHH is going to take it. Their run has been tremendous throughout the whole tournament. They came in, they dominated, and it felt like the ticket is already theirs to the finals, and they are in the grand finals. And then Team Vitality has shown us that no, it's them, Team Vitality, who's actually came here to play, which was seen the most during the last day of the play. They just reinvigorated themselves. They reinvented themselves, and everything started clicking. We've seen the old styles of Alpha and K-Dub. We've seen Radosin sometimes being the creator, sometimes being the goal scorer. Both of these teams have won. The only problem is that for SUHHH, the last win mattered more than whatever Team Vitality have managed to pull up in the first series.
There was an alternate universe, Jam. There was an alternate universe where Pashi 90's team plays. maybe we are in the alternate universe. Let's take a look at the progression of that universe, shall we? Let's take a look, first of all, at the group stages. At Group A, which is where both of our finalists hailed from. Team Vitality taking a 3-1 victory against Rumble Bumblers, looking pretty unconvincing. And to be fair, unconvincing was the first half of SUHHH series, going up against Singularity. The reverse sweep really setting up their upper bracket run, where they 3-0 swept Vitality. Singularity said the other way, losing 3-0 to Rumble Bumblers. And then a repeat scoreline as they had the revenge tour against Vitality, although they didn't quite get revenge. Vitality just said, yeah, we'll just take another 3-1, thank you. Into Group B. And Jam, we had ourselves a fascinating affair where Semper and Carmine rolled out their new rosters.
Yes, well, this tournament as a whole has been a showcase of the new rosters. While Carmine Corp and Vitality, you might have seen them earlier last week. Semper Esports, this was the first look of the new Semper. Archie out in his place exotic, now a fully French roster, Semper Esports, together with Casio and Chaussette. And a 3-0 versus Mustafluck, 3-0 versus FC Multiculti. I wouldn't be even surprised if Semper Esports could have won 3-0 versus Carmine Corp as well, but the luck of a draw was completely different. And of course, the results for Carmine Corp were a little bit, how shall I put it? With that, Semper Esports taking the first seed out of the group. Mustafluck, unfortunately, the second team to go out of the tournament. Team Singularity was the first one earlier on the day with a Group B. And in the bottom of the standings, Multiculti and Carmine Corp both were guaranteed to go into the playoffs. It was only a question which one of them, Carmine Corp, goes second seed. FC Multiculti were dropped into the lower bracket, and their life number was just one. Just one. No extra mushrooms to give themselves extra lives. And in the end, you could see that both Rumble Bumblers and FC Multiculti fall real early. And I wouldn't blame them, because whoever they would ended up playing versus, who would drop from the semifinals from the top, it would have been a tough task.
It really would have been, and they ended up facing Carmine Corp, who were slapped down to the lower bracket by SUHHH, continuing their good form. Solid but unspectacular Semper Esports. I definitely echo the Veloci vibes that they're giving off. Of course, their previous organization that they played under, able to take down a better but still not convincing looking Vitality. And then, of course, we started today's action with Carmine Corp versus Team Vitality. That was the beginning of something special for this all-French roster, where they took down Carmine Corp, who just couldn't get it together when it mattered. Semper Esports were knocked down by SUHHH in a bit more convincing fashion than I was expecting, I will say. Even more so to that degree that Team Vitality were able to take them down 4-1. And then 4-1, 4-1 was very much the story until the end of the day. Vitality being able to get the bracket reset, but running out of steam. SUHHH finding that second wind and deserving champions going forward. And we must thank, of course, all of the viewers out there as well. We know that there has been a peak of about 800, 900 of you tuning in. We much appreciate it, whether you've been here from day one, whether you've just tuned in for the final day of action. I'm sure that you are as excited as us to see how Rostermania is going to play out in the Rocket League Championship Series Spring Split. This just a small snippet, of course, preseason, pre-split stuff. You can't take it with a pinch of salt. I will always reference back to Sekou on Endpoint. Looked terrible before this season. Now he's on Team BDS, and for good reason. But yeah, a big thank you to all of you. You make these tournaments possible, as well, Jam, as our much-discussed pronunciation car company in the form of Dacia, of course, the Dacia Spring Electric, the city electric vehicle of choice going forward, folks. It is affordable, it is beautiful, it is super lovely, super clean, and you should definitely check it out, and indeed the entire Dacia range on Dacia.com.
Folks, I've had 4 days to convince Relic to pronounce it Dacia. He sticks to his guns.
It's Romanian! It's the Romanian... I don't know what to tell you, man. That's how you say it.
Well, we'll have our own truce over here. Big thanks to the crew behind the scenes. We had the absolutely amazing team making it happen. You might have not seen them, but Suze was creating the lobbies, was adminning the whole thing. Cheesecake was our producer on the side of the Rocket RB. And of course, Rocket Baguette themselves were having a blast throughout the last 4 days. Shoutouts to them as well. The Rocket wouldn't have been possible without Rocket Baguette, and the tournament wouldn't have been possible without Dacia. What 4 days of action we have seen. Rocket League has come back. And I'm so glad that we're closing the curtain, Relic, on the Dacia Spring tournament, but it's a curtain opener for the RLCS Spring split. We've got some interesting looks into the teams. We've got interesting predictions coming into the split and the first regional. But most importantly, I feel like we had a lot of fun. Big thanks, by the way, to Craftman and Spooks as well. They've seen and heard them earlier. Shout out to Danny Boy. He was here in the backstages, constantly just cheering us on, being the awesome manager on the side of the RB, as he always is. Man, what a weekend.
What a weekend. And it is a shame that it has to come to an end. But all good things come to an end, Jam. And for SUHHH, of course, walking home 15,000 euros, the only top 4 team going into the playoffs without an org. I don't really feel like I need to say it. Maybe people should check them out.
Folks, that's it from myself, Jarjam, and Relic. This has been the Dacia Spring Electric Tournament, sponsored by Dacia, presented by the Rocket RB and Rocket Baguette. You have been awesome. We'll see you next time.